Hey, loud, guys, loud. Coaches, throw your hand in here. Coaches, throw your hand in here. Let's go, everybody. Here we go. One, two, three. Hey, guys, let's go to our 7-on-7 field. 7-on-7 field.
Oh, man, the dude that really impressed me, and I like him, man, since he got the collar on.
LB's next play.
One thing we can do, coaches, is slide next to
Mike.
Easy.
Oh, Mike linebacker. Come out, Sam. Down. Mike. Mike, do that.
Tigers have been to 8 straight bowl games, 3 of them BCS games. We've had 5 top 10 finishes in that 8 years. We've had 3 Western Division championships, 2 Southeastern Conference championships, a national championship. And I think Coach Miles would tell you, as impressive as that is, he may be more proud of the fact that we're graduating our players at a record pace. In fact, we're second in the Southeastern Conference only to Vanderbilt in graduation rate. Here's Coach next time.
I'm going to share this talk with 2 of my players, Zach Mendenberg, who's standing behind me, and Anthony Johnson, who's on the way. But I wanted to deliver this piece because I see all these parents that are here. I was watching a camp talk, a clinic talk that was given by Jack Harbaugh, and he said a number of things that I really hung on to as a parent and as a coach. But one of the pieces that he gave us, I felt like would be very appropriate in this room. He was sitting in the, of course, Jack Harbaugh has 2 sons. Both of them are the coaches, one of the Baltimore Ravens, one of the San Francisco 49ers. Both met in the Super Bowl. Both were sons that were very athletic and talented. And Jack was their father. And his experiences as a parent may be more worthy than his experiences as a coach. So I listened to his talk, and here's what he said. He said, I was coaching at Stanford, and my son, his son Jim was a Division I quarterback, ended up going to Michigan and ended up playing in the NFL for years and years. And he was coaching at Stanford, and Elway's father was sitting in the stands, and he heard somebody ask Jack about his son, and he said, "Tell me about your son." And Jack, as a coach, went right to this. Well, he's got okay feet. His arm strength's a little average, he says, but he's a very accurate passer. And then a little time passed, and Elway, which was the great quarterbacks from Denver's father, John Elway, who's a Hall of Fame quarterback, leaned over to him and said, "Your son does not need a coach, he needs a father." And he says, and what you have to give him is his greatest support, to be his strongest advocate, and undying loyalty. He says, you don't ever answer that question again like that. You tell him, he's a wonderful man, he works extremely hard, and I could not be prouder of him. You don't say he's too short, too slow, too fat, too lean, too skinny, too strong. He's my son and I love him. And you don't be bashful about saying it, you encourage it. I see all these parents, and we all share parenting. I have friends of a lifetime that have shared parenting with me, and we constantly call, we talk about things that happen, and I can tell you the most important piece that I pass on in my little curriculum when we talk about parenting is what I just said. Love your son. Make sure that he knows that you got his back. Make sure that he knows that what he does matters to you. To the campers, I want you to know something. This camp was a great camp. I talk to my assistant coaches, and they say, listen, you understand something. We had great enthusiasm. We had great kids. We had guys that could really play. I just want you to know you need to thank somebody for bringing you to this camp. You got it? Campers. Round of applause for a great group of campers. Round of applause. You have to find that coach in this camp that you felt like really invested in you. You gotta go thank that coach. You gotta go grab that coach. Hey, Anthony, come on up. Come on over here. And you gotta take that coach and you gotta shake his hand. 'Cause let me tell you something. There's not a coach in here today that's doing this for the money. Not a guy. There's a commitment to people, and that's why they're here. So you find that coach and you thank them, and then campers, you make sure that you grab that mom and that dad or that coach or that uncle who paid for your camp, and you thank him or her. Because you know why? He thinks you got something. He thinks that you are worth it. They didn't invest camp money because they think you're a scrub. They invested camp money because they think you got it. Now, I was at an Elite 11 camp where supposedly there was a lot of college prospects, and the ups and downs of a parent coaching a college prospect. All of those parents that are in this room that know that they have college prospects in their house, raise your hand. Come on. Raise your hand. Come on, you know you got them. Let's go. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Okay. Well, let me tell you what. Didn't expect that. Let me tell you what. The best way to coach a college prospect from your house is have a long-term view of who he is. Just understand this. He can't win a scholarship today. He can't win a scholarship in that game. And he can't win a scholarship at any one point in time in his life. What he's got to do is have a long-term view of who he is. Because it's a group of steps that allow a guy to get to a point where he's trustworthy, he's honest, he's good in the classroom. Every one of our players must be good in the classroom. That he's done the things that allow him and his people around him to say he's a great teammate, a great son, a great brother. Those guys become great prospects. Those guys get their degree. Those guys sometimes never play football, never play athletics, but put themselves in a position with a degree and put themselves in position because of their long-term view of who they are to have great success without athletics. So ultimately, the key view is that mom and that dad, they love that son, and that they're growing good people. I'm going to make this one as good as I can make it. And if he buys it, and the greatest compliment to a parent is not how fast he runs, how well he throws, how talented he is, it's, but you know what? He's a really good person. Your heart swells when you hear it. Make sure that you coach that environment, you coach that characteristic more than coaching how fast he runs, how many practices he goes to, how many times he gets into the weight room. Now, I have two great young men here with me, guys that were picked based on the fact that they have leadership. What we do is, in our room, we vote for what would be the center core piece of our team, what we would call Unity Council. And this group is made up of guys that are veterans, been in the wars, they understand how to play, they know what's expected of them, and their teammates now have said to them, lead us. And it's a very active position. And so when we thought about the guys that we'd like to have visit with you, we thought about Anthony Johnson, raise your hand, Anthony, and Zach Mettenberger, raise your hand, Zach. Quarterback, defensive tackle, really potentially could have great impact on their team. They could have great falls. And I think that they're both very, very quality men and will give us great leadership. Now, what I would suggest you do is you guys say something short, and then open it for questions. You guys might have some questions for these guys, right? What do you think? Raise your hand if you'd like to ask this guy a question. Okay, good. So, first, I'll hand the microphone to Zach Mettenberger, our quarterback.
How we doing today, guys? Come on, you aren't that tired. No, y'all can play 6 more games. How we doing today? It's more like it. Hey, nothing more fun than being out here playing football, is it? I mean, shoot, I'm tired of watching basketball and baseball on TV. I'm ready for football to roll around. I know you are the same. But, you know, a lot goes into that, guys. You know, you got to make sure you have good grades. You know, you got to work hard and be ready for the season to come. And, you know, I remember being a kid and coming to camps, and yeah, that's all I wanted to do is play football. And I know all y'all are the same way. But, you know, there's a lot that goes into it, and I just want y'all to make sure that keep y'all set on straight, and just keep working hard, man. And last thing is, thank your parents once in a while, man. They do a lot for y'all. They sacrifice a lot to get y'all these camps, get y'all to practice every day. You know, really, you know, without parents, there wouldn't be us. So that's all I got to say, and you guys take it easy.
If y'all can hear me, clap 2 times. If you can hear me, clap 2 times. That's what I'm talking about. How y'all doing this morning? That's what's up, man. All I can tell y'all honestly, how many of y'all want to be professional football players when y'all grow up? I had those same aspirations, man, the same aspirations. But honestly, all I can tell you is this, man. There's 3 things you can do, man, to stay on top of everything. The first thing is, you know, dad's going to always beat up and see mom. You got to respect mom to the fullest, man. Love your mom like there's no other mom on this planet. Respect your parents. Secondly, how many of you all excel academically in school right now? All y'all better raise y'all hands. You got to do that. But secondly, man, you got to stay on top of your grades, man. Just do what y'all are supposed to do. Listen to your teachers, listen to your principals. Just stay out of trouble, man, and do the right thing. And the last thing, man, is just stay humble. You know, all of y'all come from great backgrounds because your parents wouldn't be here right now if they didn't love y'all so much. So y'all clap it up for y'all parents for showing y'all support. All right? And, that's all it is to it, man. Just stay humble, you know, respect your family, and do well in school. Y'all should be okay in life, man. Y'all, thank y'all.
Round of applause for this man. Now, okay, we will take 2 questions or more. That gentleman right there, stand up, and you know, I got right there, gentleman right there. Stand up. Say your name and then give us your question. Go. What's your name? Jamal? Gotcha. Big question. Who's wearing number 18 on the defensive shirt?
He's going to take it. Turn what you... Oh, Greg. Where you at, Greg? Listen to this, man. What we're trying to do is get Zach Mettenberger to wear 18 and put Anthony Johnson back in number 8, man. That's all we need for you to do. So that answer your question, man.
Okay, now I got to have another question. Matt Perry? Matt. Who's going to be the new number 7? We got a number of number 7s out there, man. We're going to look for him, and you'll enjoy him greatly, I'm sure. Okay, just give me your question from there. Go ahead. Finally, we got a good question, right? He pointed at Zach Mettenberger and he said, "How long did it take you to grow that beard?" The key piece to this is the other man has a beard as well. Stand up, young man. Stand up. It will take you a lifetime. And the other one. What do you say? Will these guys be in the draft? Well, Zach Mettenberger will use his eligibility, and he will be in the draft. He'll be definitely a drafted quarterback. The thing that would put him in the draft highest would be how best he plays this fall. So Anthony Johnson would have another year remaining. He might elect to go out in the NFL draft. Again, it will be based on his view of whether I am a first round, great position in the draft, this is the time I want to go, or do I want to come back and accomplish some other things here in college, and he'll have that chance. Okay, I want to ask parents, are there some questions that the parents may have of these guys? This would be a pretty decent opportunity. So give some thought to it. I'm going to go back one more time across parents. I'm looking at parents that might have a question for a college prospect. Go right ahead. It doesn't have to be a college prospect. These guys. Okay, what are you two guys majoring in? Anthony, what's your major? Social science. That would be all those humanities, sociology, psychology, God, and on and on. Interdisciplinary studies. That means it's a mesh of different curriculums within our university. Okay. Any other? I'm looking for parents' questions. How important is it to be on time? You guys got to answer that one.
I've gotten to know Coach Cameron over a short time, but the thing he tells us, it's better be an hour earlier than a minute late. He tells us that every day. So if you're late, you're missing the bus. You miss your chance. So you never want to be late. You always want to be early. You want to be the first guy in, getting extra stuff done. So.
I can honestly tell you one thing. My freshman year, our strength coach, Coach Tommy Moffitt, he told us a story. He said if we ever got hit by the train and we was 2 minutes late, he told us to crawl up in here, work out, and then go to the training room, even if we got hit by the train. So that tells a lot. I'm gonna be on time. I'm gonna be 30 minutes ahead of the program.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, the question was, did both of these college players play the same position in high school that they're playing now?
I started off, there you go. I started off as a defensive end tight end, and throughout the season, my freshman year in high school, I ate too many Pop-Tarts and gained about 30 pounds. So they put me in the middle at defensive tackle, and I've been there ever since.
I'm too slow to play anything else, so.
Okay, this young lady in the back, to explain how important it would be to be coachable, to listen and take instruction.
Honestly, it's very important. Reason being is because if you don't respect your coach really won't respect you at the end of the day, because people can say some things, but if you're humble and you stay humble and you show your coach that you're ready to play for him, and you show your teammates you're ready to play for him, everything should go smooth, man.
That's the biggest thing. It doesn't matter how much talent you have, how good you are, whatever stats you put up. It just takes one person saying that guy is uncoachable. He'll turn everybody away. That is single-handedly the most important thing for us to show up every day and be coachable, to try and learn something new from our coaching staff.
Okay, I'm going to take one last question. The question is social life, academics, and football, and the balance of the three. Which one do you guys want to take out?
I mean, it's tough. It's you know, we're about to have a new crop of freshmen come in. That's going to be the biggest thing they learn right off the bat. You know, waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning, going to study hall, being here on time for working out at 12, whenever their workout time is, going to class, you know, being here for training table, just being on time everywhere. And really, at the end of the day, they should be too tired to go out and do too many extracurricular activities. So, you know, it's definitely hard to juggle for a freshman coming in, but